Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad development stream. Today we're going to be continuing on with the Gradle tab. Just gonna quickly announce the stream in Discord before I completely forget. And then we can get started. Hello Soya Ben, welcome to the stream. Hello Alex, welcome to the stream. And hello Aleatorio, welcome to the stream. Okay, so let us get started, I think. So, where were we at last time? Well, last time we actually got most of it done, if we're being realistic. And we got to the point where we wanted to test the run configuration, and then we had some issues with the Stack Overflow error. I managed to fix that. It was because, actually funnily enough, because of JDK, because of the JDK CLI, it was trying to deserialize the JDK, which would deserialize the JDK CLI, which holds the JDK. So obviously that would be just an infinite stack of JDKs. I guess I hadn't tested this since adding it. I thought I did, but apparently not. So I just made it transient, which means it won't be serialized. So that fixed that. And there was also another issue very similar in a project, I think? No, it was in Gradle run configuration data. Yeah. Wait, was it? No. It was in run configuration? Run configuration? Not sure. Somewhere else there was a very similar issue, but I fixed that, and I've also done a lot since then, so I'm actually done with the tasks tab. So I'm going to run that and I'll show you how that works. Hello XNC, welcome to the stream. So yeah, we're going to give it a run, and I'm going to show you where we're at. We're actually, I'm pretty sure we're done with Gradle task tab, and so we're going to be doing dependencies today. I don't know how we're going to do dependencies, but I also don't think it will be too hard. I don't think. I guess it depends, like, what can you do to a dependency? All you can do is analyze dependencies, which we're probably going to add in the future, but also not that important right now. So here we are. Oh, I also managed to fix the fabric facet. So now it shows that this is a fabric project. It's kind of unrelated to this, but I decided to do that anyways, just because I was there. So if I now go ahead and let's open this one. Doesn't really matter which one we open. And we'll just wait for the Gradle thing to load. Shouldn't take too long, I don't believe. There you go. So detected 3 facets. So if we now go ahead and you can now sync the Gradle project. So I've added the button here and also in the menu. So you can sync it, which will just go ahead, preload it. And then you can also download sources, which I'm pretty happy with this. So if you press download sources, and we have to go into the console for now, but it will say downloading sources, and then after like a couple minutes it will have finished downloading those. I'd like to add a little more information to this, but I don't really think that's possible. I don't know. Well, we can come back to that, but the point is that it does work. We'll just have to give it a minute, probably. 30 was that haircut, bro? It's not that bad. It's all right. I mean, it's not like it was before. It's a lot shorter than it was before. But I don't hate it. This is taking a little longer than I anticipated. It does take a hot minute to do it, but IntelliJ is exactly the same. Because it has to search through all of the dependencies, and then it has to find which ones it can download sources for, and it has to download the sources and the Java docs. So it takes a while. Just give it a minute. It shouldn't take that long. Let me see how long it took on the last one that I ran it. Yeah, it took about 1:20. Which is reaching about now. Yep, there you go. That was actually perfectly about 1:25 there, so that's pretty average, to be honest. That's just based on like download speed, my CPU, and that kind of stuff. So that works. And then also I've got an offline mode toggle here as well. All with tooltips, of course. So this is just a toggle button. And then also the kind of most important thing, I suppose, is that I can now go ahead and run one of these tasks. And I can also choose to double click it, which will add that run configuration. Now, currently it will just add the run configuration, which it shouldn't really do, bearing in mind we already have one with that name. So that's not necessarily ideal. Yeah, so I don't really know how we're gonna solve that. Yeah, I guess the best thing, let's try and fix this real quick actually, because this is kind of an issue with it doing that. So we need to go into the let's just go into the context menu for now. So we search context menu. This one? I'm trying to think. No, not that one. It's the other one. This one. So yeah, as you can see here, it just adds a configuration. But we can probably just not do that if it already exists. So I guess what we could do, and this should be pretty simple, is say if project dot get run config manager dot get configurations dot stream dot any match, and then we can just check configuration dot type is equal to run configuration types dot Gradle, and configuration dot data dot yeah, so then we can use configuration dot data, and we can cast that to Gradle run configuration data. Gradle run configuration data. Okay, let me put this on a new thing. And let me minimize that as well. And we can check if the data dot get task dot equals the current task that we want to do. So task dot name, I suppose. We also do need to check the path though. So that kind of complicates things, because that means we can't really just have it in this one line thing. We're going to have to turn it into a block. So we can say okay, let's say if configuration the type is not equal to Gradle, right? So configuration type is not equal to Gradle, then just return false. Then we're going to get the data, and we're going to cast that to the Gradle run configuration data. And then what we can do is, yeah, this. So basically check that the path is equal to the path we're using, and the task is equal to the task. And that should be it. So that will just return that, and then, yeah, if any match, then what we're going to do is we ideally actually want to return that, though, if it matches. So we probably don't want to use any match. We instead actually want to just filter and then find first, turn that into a variable, which will be existing config, run config, and then if it's present, return that. And we have to do an unchecked cast, but that's fine. I mean, what we could do maybe is we could go ahead and map it. It's not really strictly necessary though. Like, we could do that, and then that means that this can now be that, which means that we don't have to cast there, but we still obviously have to cast somewhere, which now ends up being here. So is that really any better? I don't know. I'm going to say yes. I think that's better. Just a little bit better. Now, one thing we might want to do actually is make this a variable as well, because we have that a couple times. So run config manager. And yes, I also added this, so I can now actually set the selected configuration as well, which is nice. I will actually, whilst I'm at it, create a method to set a selected configuration, which is just a little bit better. So now I can actually just set selected configuration. There we go. So that one will now be selected, which is good. And we can just return that. Now, we actually could even turn this into a single thing. I don't know if I want to do that, though, because we could return this dot if present or else. Yeah, and then how does this work? I forgot. Oh, no, we want to do or else get, right? And then we want to do this, and then we can do this, which means we can just get rid of that. Is that better though? I don't know. I think it's a little bit better. Might be worth making this a method though, because this is a little bit not very nice. But hopefully IntelliJ will just let me extract it out into a method. No, please. Yeah. No. That's definitely a thing you can normally do. I mean, I can do extract method and basically extract this, but that only gets it as a predicate, which we don't really want. Ideally, we just want this. Can I not just extract this? Refactor, extract method. Right. And then return as existing and run config. Okay, and then if I do that, then after we stream it, we then just filter it and then map it. Like that. Which I think is a little bit easier. I'm curious actually, can we do... I don't think you can, but can I do .class : cast? I don't think that's where you put the dot though, is it? It's like there. No, you can't do that. Oh, wait. Can you do this? No. There isn't a way to do that. That would have been a little bit nicer, but that doesn't seem to be possible. But that's fine. So that should now mean that if we already have a configuration with the name and the path being exactly the same, then it won't go ahead and create it. Let's try this actually. This should work. And we'll see what it does. Okay. So. Yeah, okay. So if we go now into here and into run client, hopefully when we double click it, it should start this. Should. Yes, it has. Now has it... Okay, just to check, has it created... No, so it's kept the same configuration, which is what we want. So it hasn't gone ahead and created a new one, which is good. Okay, we'll try another task just to see that we can still create a new one. Yeah, so I'll see that's opened Minecraft as expected. Okay, let's try run server and just see if it runs a server. It should put it up here. Now, the only thing I'm noticing is it's not showing up as running up here. And it should be. So that's an interesting thing to point out. That also failed, interestingly enough. Why did that fail? Oh. Interesting. That's actually an issue with the mod. I guess I never tested run server. I just assumed that everything worked. Seems to be a dependency issue though. Interesting. Okay, we'll have to look at that at some point, because that's not ideal. Trying to do the wood API. But why would the wood API require fabric rendering on the server? That's kind of weird. Anyways, the point is that it works. I do want to try and figure out why it's not showing up as running up here though, because it should be. So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to look at run controls pane, which is where that all happens. And yeah, it's because it's not adding it to this map of configurations. Okay. Yeah, so in reality, these two fields shouldn't live in this pane. Those should live in the run config manager, right? Because it's not specific to the UI, it's a thing that actually needs to be managed. So these really shouldn't be in here. I don't know why I created them in here. I guess I probably just never thought about ever running a run configuration from somewhere that's not here. I suppose that's a bit of a weird thing to do, but it does make sense. I'm curious where those are used in here. Like, how much are we going to break by moving them somewhere else? I think it'll be fine. I think we can probably pretty easily put these all in the manager. Only thing is, I don't want to completely bloat the run config manager. I mean, it's already starting to get a bit big. So that's not necessarily what we want. I think a lot of this logic needs to be moved out of here, though. So a lot of this shouldn't be in here. But that's not really relevant to this PR. That's more an issue with the run config system. So we can come back to that in the future. It doesn't fundamentally cause us many issues. It just means you can't stop the run configuration because it's not going to show up with the stop button. But as far as I'm concerned, that works as well as it could. So let's actually rename this to get or create run configuration. Oops. Get or create run config. Just because that's a little more self-explanatory, a little more explanatory of what it does. I do actually want to move this into its own method as well. Create run config. Like that, and then turn that into an expression, which just cleans that up even more. Just exactly what I want. I don't know why this is package protected. Where is it used? Yeah, it is used outside of this class. Okay, in that case, I am actually going to make this. No, I think package protected is fine actually, and we can make this package protected, and this as well. I think that's fine. And once again, these are the kind of things that we can move somewhere else in the future. They don't need to live in here. They're static, so it doesn't matter where they are to an extent, but that's fine. Okay, one thing I do want to do before we move on is I need to push this to GitHub. So this is basically the Gradle plugin I'm using to download the sources, which is the same thing IntelliJ and Eclipse do. They have their own Gradle plugins that you just put in. So I just need to go through this and push this to GitHub. More importantly, I just need to make sure the line endings are correct, because big old ChatGPT has come through here and it's fucked up some of the line endings that I had. Because I had a weird issue with this, where for some reason you have to have this. I don't know why, I don't know what it does, but you have to have it for some reason. Which I didn't know about and I didn't see anywhere in the docs, but that's a thing you have to have apparently. But yeah, this is a pretty simple project. I think actually it's fucked up all the line endings, hasn't it? Okay, let me quickly fix the line endings. So I can actually just do that. No, I'm gonna put it in a new window, because then I can bring up this. Just give it a second. We'll fix the line endings. Yeah, that's the one. There we go. I should have fixed the line endings. I just got to change this one back to LF. There we go. Okay, and then I need to just push this to GitHub as well, which I'm going to quickly go ahead and do. Also, yeah, look, I've completely broken my Git at some point. I don't know how I've done it, but it just keeps erroring all the time. I'm going to have to probably reclone it at some point. Yeah, I'll do that later. Okay, let me add this as a repository. Go find it. There it is. Found it. Add. Okay. Now we do need a git ignore though. So I don't really know what needs to be in the git ignore. So we're gonna get codecs to generate as a git ignore. Okay, can you create a git ignore for this project? Give it a second. So currently it's including all of the build folders, all of Gradle, all of IntelliJ. Sorry, we don't want all of that. That actually does look correct. Why is that not showing up in here though? Oh, it has. I'm just blind. Yeah, I think that's correct. That gets rid of Gradle, gets rid of build, get rid of IDEA. Yeah, that's fine. So if I come back over to here, yeah, that looks fine. I'll get Copilot to give me a commit message. That's fine as well. And then publish. So don't know where this has come from. Interesting. Do I have in the README a there you go. That's what I was looking for. Nope, not that. This. This does need to be in Railroad Team though. And I'm kind of tempted to just call it Download Sources Gradle plugin. Let's do that. Okay. I assume that will come up on Discord. Just check that that's come up on Discord. Yes, it has. So that means it's gone through. Good. And that's already published to Maven as well, which is great. So, okay, that's done. And I'm also going to commit this, and then I'm gonna purge the repository from a local computer, and I'm gonna reclone it so I can fix the Git issues. Okay, just gotta find it first. Oh my god, it keeps erroring. There's so many weird errors coming up. Okay, I'm gonna commit, and then I'm gonna push. Okay, yep, so many errors that it's giving me from that. I'm just gonna check that it has actually like pushed correctly. I don't see why it wouldn't have, but just want to make sure. Yeah, like it's actually meant to be there. If we just look at the commits, make sure like it's not committing anything weird. No, that all looks fine. No, go back. No, go forwards. Okay, thank you. And that's fine. Okay, fantastic. So I'm just gonna delete this. Oh, actually, before I delete it, I just need to make sure I don't have any changes hiding in one of my branches. I don't think I do, because this is my fork. It's not actually the... Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I've actually broken it. So I need to just delete it. Okay, so... Oh god, it doesn't like this. Okay, let me close IntelliJ. Okay. Boom. Okay. That's gone. So now I'm going to clone again. And hopefully... I go Gradle tab. Nice, errors are gone. Fantastic. So now I can reopen IntelliJ. And in theory, everything will be fine. We'll be back to exactly where we were. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay. Yes, we're back to exactly where we were. Okay, fantastic. So let's continue with what we were doing. So the next thing is to have the dependency. So if we look in the Gradle tab here, we're actually going to have to wait a minute. There you go. And if we come in here, you can see we have compiled class path, runtime class path, and then the test ones as well. And then each of these, it lists all of the dependencies. There's also this as well. So I guess it shows sub-projects like inside of there. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Probably the exact same, I imagine. So we'll probably have Railroad at the top level, right? So that's the main project. Then inside of that, we'll list each of these. And we'll also have the sub-project like at the same level as each of these. I think that's what we're going to do. Honestly, I don't know that anyone has ever used this dependencies thing. I've never used it in my entire life. I don't really know why I would ever use it. I guess it shows you what dependencies you have, but I would also just go to external libraries on the left. So I don't know why you would ever do this, but might as well implement it. It shouldn't take long to do. So we're going to do that. So where do we even start? Well, we need to start by actually adding the tab content, right? So let's go into Gradle tool window or something. Gradle tool, yeah, that is actually what it's called. Okay. I don't think that's really what we should call it though, because it's not a window. I'm gonna call it Gradle. That fucks up all the CSS though. Okay, we'll keep it window for now. Maybe I'll come back and change that later. I don't know why I called it tool window in the first place, but whatever. Is this even the one I was thinking of? Yes, it is. So this is the one that has the tabs. So somewhere in here, yeah, there it is. We have the Gradle dependencies pane. So we're going to go ahead and create that. We need to go source, main, Java. Oh, what is you? Okay, I don't know where you came from, but sure. Gradle and UI. Create a new class, which will be the Gradle dependencies pane. Now this is going to be pretty much exactly the same as the Gradle task pane for the most part. Not identical, but it's going to be pretty similar. So yeah, one thing I would like to do is currently how it works is when you do a refresh, right? So when you reload the Gradle task, it syncs this part, like this part will disappear, but the buttons at the top don't. What does IntelliJ do? Yes, the IntelliJ just disables that button. The only reason I'm thinking this is because otherwise we have to implement the same logic for the loading thing twice. I don't necessarily know that's a good idea. I think it'll be fine, I suppose. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Okay, so let's do... We're going to copy this. And we're going to need this as well. But obviously, we're going to have to change this to be a dependency rather than a task. The other thing to note... I'm wondering, actually, maybe these elements, we should just keep them. Because these are just folders again, right? They're just normal folders. So maybe it's just that like the project is going to be exactly the same item. Like it's going to just be identical to this, literally identical. It's not going to be changed even in the slightest. So I'm wondering if maybe what we should do is extract out these classes and this as well. Yeah. Even just the entire tree, actually. In fact, the entire thing. Like we can probably... I don't know how we would do it, though. That's the only thing. I guess basically we just have to supply our own tree builder, right? And then... maybe we have a list of some generic type, like a list of, you know, T. And then the tree builder has to accept T rather than, you know, currently accepting tasks. I think that would actually be the best way to do this, because then we don't have any duplicate code at all. And it means that if we do want to add another one in the future, we can literally just do it. It'll be like 5 lines of code, right? I think we're going to do that. It's going to complicate things a little bit, but I think that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Gradle tree view pane. And this is going to take in a T, which will be this Gradle task model. So instead of an observable list of Gradle task model, it'll be an observable list of T, right? And then tree view will, yeah, so instead of this being a Gradle task tree element, this will just be a Gradle tree element. Okay. Not that one, but this one, yeah, so that'll be a Gradle group element. Well, I guess it's kind of a task group element. It is a little bit different, so that's fine. We actually don't want to rename those then. So that will then be a Gradle tree element, and then we need to rename this. So instead of this being Gradle tasks pane, this will be the Gradle tree content pane, maybe? I think that's fine. I'm going to have to obviously change that in the CSS though. We'll quickly go styles and we'll go components. And then we have to find Gradle tasks. I'm going to need to rename this as well. So I will rename this to Gradle tools. Okay, and then I'll just rename that to tree content pane. And this will just be a Gradle tool project element. And this will be a Gradle tool task group element. Or no, we can actually leave that as it was. I think that's fine. That's a Gradle tasks group element. That's a Gradle task element. And then sync button, blah, blah, blah. Those are all fine. And then this will just be a Gradle project element. Okay. So then this will be the Gradle tool loading spinner. You know, let's actually call this tool contents, and then tool contents, and we'll stick with tool, this being like a tool pane rather than a tree pane. So then I can rename this to a Gradle. I actually kind of do want to keep this being called a tree view pane though, because that is more what it is. And then this will be question mark super T. This will need to be of type T. And then this also won't be called tasks anymore, so this will now be called elements. I think elements. And then this will just be the tree view. Okay. Do that. And this is the model service. That's fine. Model service.get all tasks. Yeah, that's the only problem. So that's obviously not gonna work. Okay. So if we make this class abstract, and then what we can do is we can make the method. So like this, for example. Yeah, this will basically instead be an abstract method that returns that. So we'll have like a public abstract, or not public necessarily, protected abstract task tree builders. That will instead just be a tree builder. So let me rename that to a tree builder of T create tree builder. So then instead in here we will just call create tree builder. Okay, and then this will just be build tree, which will then take in the elements, and then in here we have to have a way to load it from the build model. So we'll have a protected abstract list of T, or we can actually just do collection of T, and we will load or get elements from a model. Sure, that's a pretty good name actually. So then this will just set all get elements from a model like that. This is fine. And that's tree elements, project elements, task group elements, task elements. And this is task tree cell, but this will now instead just be the Gradle tree cell. And yeah, we'll come back to this one because that's going to be a little bit more confusing now. Okay, now we just need to change the tree builder. Also, I don't like that being a var, so that's going to be a Gradle tree builder. Like that. But then we go in here, we can make this generic. So this will now be just of type T. This will take in now an observable list. Well, this will just be an abstract method, I suppose. Right? I suppose. Do we maybe... No, we can't do that because... Okay, this is going to have a bit of duplicate code as well, I think. But there isn't much we can do about that. So we'll just make this a generic method. This will be of type T. This will then be called elements. Right? We'll do that. And then we're not going to yeet this, of course, but we're instead going to take this out. This needs to become an abstract class, and then we'll just make a new implementation that uses that. So we'll go Gradle task tree builder, which will extend Gradle tree builder of type Gradle task model, which I can't see. Model. There you go. And then we will implement the method, and we'll paste that in there. We're going to come back in here. We're going to take all of this, and then we're going to go back in here, paste. There is a few things we can actually do here. You know what we can also do is we can make this an interface. There's no reason why this can't be an interface, right? Rather than making it an abstract class, there's just no need for that. So we'll just do that. And then this one will just implement that. And we can extract some of the things in here. So for example, capitalize first letter of each word. Honestly, that should go like into somewhere else, like string utils, right? So let's refactor. There might even already be that method in string utils. Let's have a look. So if it's already there, then there's no point us doing that. That's not a thing in there. Okay. But we can move it in there. So we can just do move members, and we can move to string utils. This one, I think. Okay, and this one I think we can just keep in here. We can just make this a default method. Not in here though. This will move into here, like that, which will be fine. That will work in here. Okay. Yeah. That looks correct. Okay. So then all we need to do is in here, we need to, instead of passing in a new Gradle tree view pane, well, well, kind of, yes. What we're going to create is a Gradle tasks pane. Okay, which will extend Gradle tree view pane of type Gradle task model. We're going to implement the methods, and we are going to add the constructor. This will return a new task tree builder. Is that not what I called it? That is what I called it, just not plural. And this will just do return model.getAllTasks. That is a thing. That is definitely a thing. Why doesn't it like that? That was definitely a thing before, right? I'm sure that was a thing before. Or did we use something else? Did we use model service? We must have used model service. Okay. Okay, well this can just take in the model service as well then. Model service. Model service. Okay. And then we'll just pass in the Gradle model service, which will be the model service. And then we'll just use model service.get all tasks, which obviously gives us the problem here because we just need to pass model service in like that. Okay. So yeah, still one problem. We just need to make sure we're using Gradle tasks pane, passing in the project, of course. And yeah, so now we just need to do Gradle dependencies pane. We need to do the exact same thing. So we're going to extend Gradle tree view pane. Now this time it's going to take in a Gradle dependency model. Now this is actually not a thing have I spelled that right? Dependency. Yes, I have. So that's actually not a thing, unfortunately. So I don't know how that's this. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work. Let's just import everything. And we're going to need to create this class as well. Let me put some packages in here. So we'll have task, and we'll have new package for we'll just do depths, task and depths. So task, boom, boom, and then we'll go depths. We'll put that in depths. Boom. Okay. The rest is all fine. That can just live in here. This tool window pane. I really don't want to call it that. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it Gradle tools pane. And this will be Gradle tools pane. I'm just going to find and replace tool window with tools. Replace, 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 replace. And then I just need to come into here, make sure I don't have tool window mentioned anywhere. And then I need to come into the lang, just replace tool window with tools. Replace, 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 replace. Boom. Which should just fix our little issues there. Okay, fantastic. So that's basically solved now. And there is an issue in here though. It'll create run config is not public. That's true. So this does now need to become public, which I thought it might at some point anyways. I'm going to make this public whilst I'm at it. There's no reason not to. And since those are public, I'm going to write some docs for them. Okay. So our project, the Gradle task, the run configuration. Okay, then this one creates the configuration, and then this one just checks if the configuration exists or not. Okay, which just fixes our error there. Even though this might move somewhere else anyways. I don't know, we'll see. Oh yeah, the other thing is this isn't going to work. So this now needs to become task element, this needs to become group element, and this needs to become project element. Is that correct? I think so. So, oh no, that's still task group element. This becomes task element. So this is tasks group element. And then this one is just project elements, because that will be reused. This still isn't ideal. I'm not really too happy with this, but it will suffice for now. Okay. So, I don't like how these are below a private method, so I'm going to make this go there. Then they're no longer private. This can be protected, to be honest. There's no reason why not. Just means that that can be used if we want it to be. Okay, so now for the hard part, to be honest. We're going to have to handle dependencies. So I'm hoping this won't be too hard. I think we can just get the run, or the, we can just get the, what these are called. What are these called? Let me check. If I go into here. No, not that one. Mind. This one. What are those called? Collect resolvable component. Okay, so these. So module components. Oh no, they're called configurations. Of course they are. Yes. They're configurations, basically. Oh wait, no. No, they're not. Wait, are they? Now I'm doubting myself. Also, that should be there. I don't know why that's... I'm not going to do that because then I have to commit it and it's just not worth it. But that should really be here. Okay. So... that's fine. Because it uses... get configure. Yeah, so they are configurations then, basically. Yeah, these are the configurations. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have to get the configurations, and with that, or in fact we can just do this. Get dependencies. Get project.get dependency or components, component IDs. I don't know how this is going to work with sub-projects, I'll be honest. But we'll have a look. So, first of all, what is a dependency? Right? I think that's probably the most important thing to figure out. You know, how are we going to define what a dependency is? Well, for starters, yeah, I was going to say we should have a group, we should have a name and a version. And then you got the configuration, and then this is saying we should have the project. I think that's probably true. I think we should have the project stored in here. No, we can't make this transient. Can we? No. Which is a shame. Because that may cause us problems. Especially because we're going to have them also in here. So we're going to have a list of tasks, and then we're going to have a list of Gradle dependency model, which will be the dependencies. Now, yeah, I suppose for that reason, this shouldn't really have the project referenced in here. I think the fact that... I mean, I don't know what data Gradle's going to give us. So Gradle might just give us enough data for us to be able to identify the project in some other way. I don't know. And we're only really going to find out when we actually try and do it. So Okay, that at least fixes a bunch of errors in here, which is quite nice. Yeah, so we're going to need a get all. Going to need a default list of Gradle dependency model, which will be get all dependencies. And this is basically just going to do the exact same thing. So project.dependencies.stream, like that. We're probably going to want the same thing with this. I think we'll do that if we need it. I mean, these aren't actually even being used, so we could probably get rid of this as well. Hello, Cody Player. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, we'll create these methods if we need them. These probably don't even need to exist in the first place, but I created them because you never know when you need them. But that's fine. Okay, so we can go to our implementation, and it should be complaining at us. Oh, no, I guess it's not because it's a default method. So it's actually not going to complain at us. Then that's fine. Something should be complaining at us, though, because somewhere we do actually create that project model, of course. So somewhere it's going to complain. I don't know where. I don't remember. Oh, it's going to be the model mapper, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay, so we can have a list of Gradle dependency model dependencies, and then we can just pass dependencies in. And then all we need to do is we need to say project dot. Can we get the dependencies from this? No. So what is this? This is a Gradle project. I'm curious. Maybe we need to use... No, because get children gives us a list of Gradle projects. So it'll give us the exact same thing. So... Let's see where this is called. I don't remember where this is called. This one. This is collect projects, which is called in here. So what do we have access to in here that might give us dependencies? I wonder if we can use something like the... I don't think it would be the build environment. No. Unless we can get it from Java. No. Not. Maybe from the Gradle build, but I don't think so. Editable builds, no. Root projects, don't think so. No. Okay. We have the model builder, but that's not really going to help us. Okay. What we could try is we could try get model on something else. So these all extend model. So if we go to implementations, we can actually see all of the different types of models that you can get. I'm wondering if any of these could possibly give us dependencies. I don't think they would they? Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of Googling. real quick. just to try and see if I can find anything. And if not, we'll obviously resort to ChatGPT. But I'm going to do a little bit of Googling first, just before I go ahead and be lazy. So I don't really even know what to Google. Gradle tooling API get dependencies. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a huge amount of documentation about the tooling API, so I don't necessarily know. Okay, there actually is an issue on GitHub from 2018, and it has been closed, so I don't know. Okay, so apparently you can get them from an IDEA project, so IntelliJ project, or an Eclipse project. But we don't really want that because that means the project has to have a bunch of project-specific files, right? So you'd have to have a lot of IDEA files or Eclipse files, which we don't want. So, yeah, and they are actually complaining about that when someone suggested that. Tooling API models are crafted to specific needs of the tool they are used for. A generic dependency model would not be useful in that regard, as every tool needs different information. It would just end up being hugely complex and leaking all kinds of internal information. I don't know about that. Okay. Yeah, so basically this is saying that the other option you have is to just create a custom model builder and write an init script, which is what I'm doing for Fabric stuff, is what I'm doing for the Java stuff, and it's what I'm doing for downloading the sources as well. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do that though, because that's not really ideal. Hello Wide, welcome to the stream. Resolving dependencies at configuration time is discouraged, apparently. Looking into what's been noted. Okay. I'm looking to see if there's a solution. Doesn't seem to be. Okay. Let's just see what happens if we get the IDEA model. Or I think it's the IDEA project. So if I come into, not that, into here, and I do connection dot get model IDEA project dot class, what does that get us? Actually, quite a lot of information. So that allows us to get a list of IDEA modules, a JDK name, language settings. What's in language settings? Interesting. And that allows you to get a JDK as well. Interesting. What else does it get us? The language level. So that's just a string. I don't really know why that's a separate thing. Okay, so we can get the modules. So what happens if I try and get an IDEA module? What does that get us? compiler output. Interesting. Content roots, dependencies, Gradle projects, Java language settings, so basically everything. Interesting. And what am I meant to use? Am I meant to use idea project or idea module? Meant to use idea project, which basically would give us a list of modules. I don't necessarily know that that's what we want to do, though, is it? I'm gonna do a little bit more Googling, just see if there's anything else that says. Okay, I'm on the official Gradle docs now. I guess I can show you guys this because there's not going to be anything here that I can't show. Okay, nothing about here mentions dependencies, like at all. So that's not really helpful, is it? Okay. Yeah, that's not helpful. Okay. Interesting. Let me do a little bit more looking. It seems that the recommended way seems to just be get the Eclipse project or get the IDEA project. But that doesn't seem useful. Or not necessarily useful, but just kind of annoying and weird. It's weird. The other thing is, if we do get a dependency, let's say we get a dependency, right? So an IDEA dependency. What does that actually get us? What do we actually get from that? We get a scope and whether or not it's exported. So what is a scope? Just a string? Scope of the current dependency. Never null. Checks if it's transitive. But that does that give us this? Like, that's not going to be the scope, right? I guess it could it be? Could that be the scope? Maybe. Maybe. What does an Eclipse project give us? Oh, a lot more things. Interesting. Ton more things. Okay. It gives us the class path. It gives us... Well, actually, it's kind of not a ton more things, I guess. But all very similar things. Build commands? Eclipse build command. What is that? Interesting. Do we have, because you have Eclipse project natures, right? which are basically what we call facets in Railroad. Interesting. Do they have dependencies? Yeah, so you can have a Eclipse project dependency, which gets you the path and whether or not it's exported. But it also gives you access rules and class path attributes. What is an access rule? I don't know. Returns the encoded type of the access rule. Interesting. They do have Java docs, apparently. Okay. I don't really know why or what this is for, but interesting. Okay, I don't think we want the Eclipse one. I think we'd be better off getting the IntelliJ one. For now. Later on, we might make our own model. So we'll have like we'll do something like connection.get model railroad project, right? Which would let us get everything we need. But for now, I think we're fine just getting IDEA projects. IDEA projects. Boom. Okay, so that means we have IDEA projects, IDEA projects. Okay, and all we need to do with that, I mean, the thing is, when we have the IDEA project, we can actually get the Gradle project from it, right? Because I think from an IDEA module, you can actually get a Gradle project. So, I mean, this is the project model builder, because we have the init script for this. Where is the init script actually? Oh, this is the task args one. So this one gets the task arguments, right? Yeah, so this is basically what we would do if we wanted to get a railroad one. Yeah, okay. With arguments, what does that do? Interesting. That gives you a Gradle project, and then that gives you the root Gradle project from that. I see, I see. Okay. Okay, so what we could do... It's kind of complicated, huh? The only thing I'm realizing is that using IDEA projects, right? It gives us the modules, but the module, it does give us the dependencies, but the dependencies don't have like what the dependency is. So there is no group. There's no group ID. There's no artifact ID. There's no version. I don't know if that's because Gradle doesn't export that information. I think it does. So I don't know why they don't come up. I guess it's not a huge issue. Like, we can probably pass it ourselves. Has Gradle project. Interesting. Yeah, because that gives you the tasks. Right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Okay, so it's just like, how do we map this idea module into what we already have? We don't really want to change what we already have as much as possible. I think I'm gonna see if yeah, I'm gonna see if Copilot has a better not Copilot, ChatGPT has a better solution for this, rather than manually trying to have to map the idea module into a Gradle project module. So there has to be a better way that I'm not thinking of. So we're going to try and find it. Okay. So what I want to say is... Oh, I actually already had it open. Forgot about that. I need to gather the dependencies per project in Gradle model mapper. How can I do this? I don't see them being exposed anywhere in the Gradle API without either obtaining an Eclipse or IntelliJ project. The only other option... See, no, I'm not even going to talk about the other option. I'm just going to say, what do you recommend doing? Let's see what it says. I think getting the idea project is most likely the best bet. But we'll see what it says. I'm going to close some things whilst I'm going to actually keep Googling to see if I can find anything else. What's it said? You won't get per project dependencies from the grain. The only public models that expose them are the IDE ones. I use the IDE model but strip it down, request idea of a project via a build action, map modules back to Gradle projects, and keep only the dependency data. To avoid needing an Eclipse IntelliJ install, the model classes are part of the public tooling API. If there aren't any IDE types in your API, add a custom tooling model or build action that reads project.get. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So that would mean very similar to what I did with downloading the sources. Build action using idea project. And then project connection. Oh, I see. Interesting. That would work, actually. Want to avoid idea types entirely, implement a custom tooling model. Yes, okay, that's what I thought. It builds the thing from project configurations. Okay, that's what I thought. So do we do that? Do we go ahead and write it ourselves, or do we just use the idea project? Those are our two options, realistically. We either use IntelliJ's project thing, or we write it ourselves. Honestly, writing it ourselves isn't too bad. It just means we have to have another project. And technically, we don't need another project. Like, technically, I could do it in a single file in the scripts, which is actually what I did with these task args, because I didn't want to make a new project for this. I mean, really, I should have all of these combined into one single project and then just run the specific task I want to run, but I haven't done that, so What's going on, bro? Right now, we are trying to get the dependencies of a project. That's literally all we're trying to do. We just want to list out the dependencies, like IntelliJ is doing here. Although, even if we do that, how do we get dependencies of a dependency? Right? Because I don't know how you would get that, actually. Because if we look at, let's go back to where we were. I don't know why I closed it. I didn't mean to close it. Where even were we? Where were we? Not model mapper. It's the thing that calls model mapper. What calls model mapper? Tooling Gradle. Yeah, tooling. This one. Okay. Okay, let's implement a custom tooling model. Let's do it. Let's do it. Fuck it. Let's create a new, oh my god, new project. Okay, we're gonna go, we are gonna go Java. Are we? Yeah. I don't remember how you know. I don't think we are, actually. Okay, let's do this by terminal then. So we want to go... I don't remember the init command. Hello... How do I... I have no idea how to say your name. I'm not even going to try. Never mind. I'm not going to try. Hello, welcome to the stream, because I am going to butcher it if I even try. But yes, welcome to the stream. Okay. Yeah. Let's... What am I doing? Yes, I'm initting a Gradle project. So I think we just use Gradle init. I don't know, though. The last one I created, I got ChatGPT to create the project, and it just ran a big command. I think it is just Gradle init, but you have to add the right arguments to get it to be a Gradle project. In fact, I can probably just type Gradle init, and I imagine it will come up with the... Oh, let's, do it in terminal then. Gradle init. I definitely have Gradle installed. Fine, I'll do it on here then, because I know I have Gradle on here. Okay. It should give me the options for... Okay, please tell me that didn't just create... Please tell me that didn't just create a friggin' Gradle project here. Explorer dot... Explorer? Hello? Windows just classically dying on me. Oh, yeah, there we go. That took friggin' forever. It has actually just created a Gradle project in here. Lovely. Not what I wanted. Okay, yeah, it has actually gone ahead and done that. Has it also created a source folder? I don't see one. Has it created any other folders that I'm not seeing as well? Yeah, it's created this one. Okay. I think that's all the ones I've created. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Let's mkdir. Did you see they're testing preloading for File Explorer? What do you mean preloading? What does that mean? Preloading? Like, preloading when? When are they going to preload it? MK Deer. What do we want to call this? What do we want to call this? Yeah, I mean, I really want to push them all into one project at some point rather than having them all here. But okay, what we'll call it for now is we'll just create a brand new project for it, and then, you know, we'll kind of go from there later on. So we're gonna call it Gradle. No, Railroad. Dependencies. Plugin. Gradle plugin. CD to Railroad dependencies Gradle plugin. I don't think it will let you link it, no, wide. It might, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will let you send a link. Okay, in that case, I'm going to ask Codex to create the project. Oh, there's an update. That's nice. Sure, I'll let it update. Though last time I updated, it made it worse. Like, it genuinely just seemed to make everything so much worse. So I'm a little hesitant to update it. But let's see. Anytime today? Oh, I didn't like that. Oh, I'm not running in WSL. That's probably why it needed an update. I didn't even clock that. It doesn't have version control, but you can do whatever you want in it because it's. Wait, which one did that put it on? Just need to make sure it hasn't put that. Yeah, okay. So agent normal is fine. Full access is the one you never want. So yeah, that's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna ask it to can you init a Gradle project? Can you init a Gradle project? A Gradle plugin project. Where the plugin will be written in Java. Because I don't want to use Groovy or Kotlin, I can't lie. Okay. It did this last time. It ran the command and it did it wrong. Oh, before it does that, actually, I need to tell it that the group ID should be dev.railroad IDE, and the artifact ID needs to be we're going to call it dependencies plugin. Dependency. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so that one won't work, and then it will do it again, and usually it works the second time. Okay, it actually... Oh, it can't. 1 second, because it does actually need network access. Okay, we're going to give it full access, chat. So if something goes wrong, you're seeing it here first. Okay, here we go. it has full access to my entire computer and my network. So, let's see. It still failed. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? Nope, it failed again. Hey! Oh, no, that's just getting the Gradle version. Okay, now it's just downloading the zip manually. I guess that works. Sure. Not necessarily how I would do it, but whatever. That works. I don't know why it couldn't just run Gradle in it. But sure. Okay, what's it doing now? Okay, now it's doing Gradle in it. I see. Okay, whatever. Project name, dependencies, plugin, package, dev. Yeah, okay. And then it said build failed. Okay, build successful. Okay. See, look at that. That just straight up, it just was able to delete a file without even asking me. That's why you don't want to do this. Because if it deletes the wrong thing, you're fucked. It's absolutely Jova if it deletes the wrong thing. Okay. What the hell is this? Dependencies plugin. What? That does not need to exist. Please say it's going to rename those. Also, what the hell is libs.versions.toml? Wait, is this Gemini CL? No, this is ChatGPT Codex. I don't trust Gemini anymore. It's gone from my entire system. Actually, I don't know if I uninstalled it on Windows. But I'm not going to use it anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, it is renaming it. Well, that's good. Is it actually going to edit the names inside the files, though? Because it does need to do that. Otherwise, there's no point. Okay, it's also done 0.1.0 snapshot, which isn't correct, because it actually needs to be 1.0.0, but whatever. Also got unit tests. I don't want the unit tests, but once it's, you know, done faffing, we can go ahead and fix all of this. Yeah, I just wanted it to create the actual plugin itself. Are you done? Nope, it's not done. It's found something it doesn't like. What is it doing? Do I trust it? I don't trust it. I feel like it's about to try and delete something. I don't trust it to... Let's go ahead and sandbox it. Boom. Right, now let's see what the hell it's done, because I don't really trust it regardless. So let's have a look. So I'm going to go Java, and then I've got to find it. There it is. Select. New window, please. Okay, so I'll do that. That's fine. I want to know how IntelliJ does that progress bar thing. Like how it knew, how did it know that's how much progress this specific download task had? Because someday we're going to want something like that in Railroad, right? So I try to think sometimes, how the hell does it do that? And I don't know how it does that. Because I don't think Gradle exports that information. Maybe they do, but I don't think they do. I'm very curious. Okay, it's downloading a lot of stuff. I don't really know why. What is it done? Okay, also, why is it in a plugin folder? Okay, this is not correct. Yeah, this is not correct. I don't know what it's done. This isn't correct. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not far off, but it's not correct. So source needs to just be in the roots. It doesn't need to be inside any plugin folder. Same with build.gradle. Okay, and then plugin needs to just go. And then functional test and test we don't need, so those can just go. Boom. And then we need to just edit build.gradle so that it has all of the correct things. So I'm going to look at, say, this one. And I'm going to put that on my other monitor so that I can read them both at the same time. So it needs to have these. Doesn't need that one, actually. Doesn't need this silly little comment. Group dev.railroad ID, that's fine. This needs to be 1.0.0. We don't need this, I don't believe. Instead, we need this, which just sets the language level. I don't think we need any dependencies. Okay, now we do need, yeah, this, but not exactly that. Basically this. I'm actually going to copy this from the download sources because I did it a little bit better in that one. Okay. So this is going to be called like I don't actually know what I want to call the task I'm going to run. Let's call it get or locate dependencies. Okay, so then this will be dev.railroadid.locate dependencies. This will be locate dependencies. This will be railroad dependencies plugin. This will be called locate dependencies. This will be locates and lists all dependencies of a project, and this will be sure like that. This is fine because that's just for publishing. I do actually need dependencies apparently, which are these two. And then, yeah, everything else should be fine. So I should be able to reload that. Okay. This needs to be dot locate dependencies. Okay, this is the dependency plugin. Okay, so that implements plugin of projects. This needs to have an override. I don't know why it doesn't have that. A bit weird. That doesn't need to exist. Instead, we need to register a model thing. So now I'm going to go back to the fabric one. I'm going to find out how the hell you do that because I don't remember. Okay, so we have a private final tooling model builder registry, which is the registry. And then we have, this is the constructor. So we have a public fabric. No, wait, I'm reading it and trying to type at the same time. It's not working. Okay, there we go. Is basically what I want. Copilot knows what I want. But then we have a dependencies model builder. Yes, that's correct. So we do indeed have that. So we create a new class, which is the dependency model builder, which implements tooling model builder. I actually don't know if this is correct. And serializable. Don't know why it needs to be serializable, but apparently it does. Okay. Can build will be model name equals dependencies model dot class dot get name. That's fine. And then build all. Then it needs to return a new dependencies model of project. Is that correct? I think so, because I think we can get configurations and dependencies, yes, from the project. That's correct. Okay. Why are you complaining? Because that needs to be not null, and I assume that's the same. Yes, it is. Okay, this apparently needs that. Okay, sure. So then we need the actual model class. So I'm going to have a look. Okay, so I think the way you're meant to do this is actually the interface for like what you want. So then you have your dependency info, and then we would obviously create our dependency info, which I think also will need to be a class, an interface. I mean, I think. Obviously, we can do that. We can do that, and we can do that, and then we create a implementation. So we create a new impl, which should be a record, and that implements dependency model. And then we create this, which is a record, which takes those in. It needs to implement these methods, so we're just going to return those in here. Okay. And apparently this needs to be serializable as well. Don't know if that's true. I don't think this is correct, actually. I think this is correct. I don't think these implementations are correct, though. Shall we cheat? I think let's cheat, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to fuck something up. Which one do I want to open now? Not this one, because this one's railroad, right? So I want this one. I'm actually going to close it anyways and restart it, so it doesn't have all that context. Yeah, so obviously that returns a new dependencies model. Okay, so that recommends it would be a record then. So maybe that's not what you're meant to do. Okay, I'm not sure. Can you implement the dependency model class? See what it does. Make sure that's saved. Okay, it doesn't need to read friggin' settings.gradle. There isn't going to be anything in there. Oh, that also doesn't need to be there. Wait, what is lib.versions.toml? Where is that? Where is that? I don't see that anywhere. And yet that's just... Oh, here it is. What are you? What on earth is this? I don't want this. I don't know where that's come from. Get out of here. I don't know what that's for. I've never seen that in my entire life. That's very interesting. Okay, so what's it done? Okay, it's made... Oh, I see. It's made this serializable. This is just a record, though. And it hasn't made it a record. So when it's done, I'll just make it a record. Yeah, I think it's done. That doesn't... Yeah, I think it just needs to be this, doesn't it? Is the only reason why it's complaining. Sure, whatever. Do that. That's fine. Because that'll only do it for my WSL instance anyways. So that's fine. Okay. Apart from that, does this look correct? So collect dependencies. What's it actually done in here? Let's read this first. We can see what it's done. So if the configuration cannot be resolved, then it continues. That's fine. Otherwise, it gets the resolved artifacts. File is equal null. What's file? Artifact.get file. Is that not null? I think that's not null. Yeah. That's for them. File.get absolute path. Ignore some configurations cannot be resolved, so skip them. Yeah, I kind of agree, but it should probably log a warning rather than just skipping it, right? So we can create a logger. I don't remember exactly how you do it. I think it's like that. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, this should be logger. And then here we will just say, I don't know if you can actually log an exception. Yeah, and that should use that. Right. What's this doing? Faffing about. Okay, whatever. Do that then. Okay. So yeah, what is a dependency info then? It's got a configuration, it's got a group, it's got a name, it's got a version, and a file path. Yep, that's pretty much exactly what I was going to add originally. So that's actually fine. How can you test the plugin? Well, I can just build it. So I can go publishing, and I can publish to local Maven, and then just basically use it in a Gradle project, and it should work in theory. Which we'll do in a second. Okay, it said build failed, and then it just says it's okay, I guess. Sure. I think that's because it doesn't have internet access. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, let me get rid of this. I don't want that. Has it created a git ignore? Yes. What's in the git ignore? Okay. I don't want. I don't want that. I don't want that. Ignore less specific files, which will be that and that. Ignore log files, ignore temporary files. Class, yeah, whatever. Ignore Eclipse stuff, just in case someone ever runs this on Eclipse. But I think that's fine. I think that's all the ones I care about. You should add a Gradle runner like how you test IntelliJ plugins. It's definitely possible to do that. Sure. But I'm probably not going to bother, to be honest. Yeah, I'm probably not going to bother. Because it's kind of very easy to just test. And it's kind of more pain to do something like that with this kind of thing. Why is this complaining, by the way? I don't think it's meant to... Oh no, it does normally complain about that. Okay, that's fine then. Question, if I build, does that work? Yeah, you don't need to be here. Also, yeah, this is going to be wrong thing. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I don't trust it though, so I'm gonna do that real quick. There we go. Reload, and then I just need to make sure that this is back in LF. There we go. Okay. What did it do with the README? Yeah, so basically you just do this. IDE railroad ID.locate dependencies, and then you say connection.get model, dependencies model, and that's it. So yeah, the only complex part with doing this in Railroad is we have to add this plugin dynamically. Like, we can't just, you know, edit your build.gradle to add the plugin, right? So that's why we have to have an init script. But yeah, apart from that, that will be fine. Now let's cd back and let's go back to Railroad. And I'm also quickly gonna go ahead and publish this. Publishing, publish, which will go ahead and put that on the Maven. We just give it a second. That was actually very quick, way quicker than I expected. Means something might have gone wrong, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. So first of all, we can check if we can add it to the build.gradle. So implementation dev.railroad IDE colon what was it? I don't know. Probably bring it back then, shouldn't I? New window. So in the README, it says that it's locate dependencies. I don't think that's actually true, though. Also, this would be that. I don't know why it's done that. I don't think that's true. Yeah, it's actually dependencies plugin. And we can verify this if we go to the Maven. So if I just plonk myself on the Railroad Maven, we can actually see you've got dependencies plugin here. Where's the... Oh, I see. Yeah, that's not correct. Yeah, this isn't correct. This needs to be dependencies plugin. Like that. Okay. I think that's correct. So now if I publish... Well, I have to wait for it to reload, but if I publish again, that should work. Let's give it a second, and then if we publish... Oh, Right, it doesn't like that because it already exists. Yes, 409 is conflict, so I can delete this one, which might work. Delete. Shit, did I delete the wrong one? Wait, what did I just delete, chat? I might have just deleted the wrong one, which could be kind of bad. I probably should have read it before I confirmed deleting it. What did I just delete? Okay. Dependencies plugin. And I refreshed. No, I did delete it. So why did it make me delete it twice? Okay. But it is fine. So I don't know. Let's try publish again. There we go. So now, if we go back... Hello? Browser? Would you... Okay. If we go back again, hopefully... Yes, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I don't like having all of these different plugins in here, which is why eventually I want to consolidate them into one. Which I will do at some point. But it's just one of those things that, like, it's not too important at the moment, so it's being put on the sidelines. So this will then be dependencies plugin :1.0.0 and reload. Just make sure that's able to fetch it from the Maven. Yes, good. Okay. So then what I need to do is I need to make an init script similar to fabric extractor, basically. I believe. Yeah, basically this. Closer to Java version 1. So I can create a new file, which will be init dependencies. Init, I'm going to call it init locate dependencies .gradle. And then it's going to take dependencies -plugin 1.0.0. This is going to be dependencies. Wait, no, it's locate dependencies, I think. And then dependencies plugin? Is that what it's called? I'm not sure now. And I've closed it again like an absolute idiot. So yes, it is dependencies plugin and it is locate dependencies. Okay. Dependencies plugin. Yes, correct. Okay. dev.railroad IDE : dependencies -plugin. Yeah, okay. Fantastic. So now what we need to do is we need to collect what we want, right? So we want a list of dependency model, which will be dependencies is equal to connection dot get model dependencies model. Oh, no, never mind. It's a new array list. And then basically we need to do this. So, right, task arguments init script. What is this? Load task arguments init script. Task args property. I don't remember what that is for. think it's just this, no? Any of the following may be available. It may also expose additional custom tooling. No, because we need to add the plugin. Which is why we need to do the init script. So, yeah, so what we do is we say init script path is equal to not write task arguments, but we want to write locate dependencies init script, or no, let me look at this one, init java version.gradle. Let's search for that. Control Shift F, init java version.gradle. Here we go. Okay, so this is basically what we want. Okay, we do want a method then, don't we? So let's do that. Okay, and then this will be init locate dependencies .gradle. Why are you complaining? Because that throws an IO exception. There you go. So then we get the name of it, which is going to be this one. Init locate dependencies .gradle. Then we copy it, and then it's a temp file that deletes on exit. Okay, that's correct. So then what we go ahead and do is we use the model builder, and then we get the dependencies model, and then if it's not null, we add that to that. Now that's actually not correct, because this needs to be dependencies, but dependencies model has a list of dependency info. So what we can grab is that list of dependency info, and then we can add all dependencies, which will ask us to use. What? Oh, that's because it's not being used. So if we just go ahead and pass that in here. Dependencies. There we go. And I think we can add arguments. Apparently not. Okay. So in that case, we can come into here. Okay, interesting. Dependency infos. Add those in here. Not unused, thank you. And then that will just take that in. And then we need to map the project using dependency info. So that will go to this one, which will take in a list of dependency info. So now we have our dependencies. Whippy! This is actually useless. We don't need that. I don't know why that's even there, to be honest. Wait. Wait. What is this one for? Oh, I see. Yeah, that doesn't need to exist either. Hello, Fortnite. Welcome to the stream. What did you miss? You have missed... we have developed a Gradle plugin, which we're using here. We have also refactored the entire dependencies thing to be like an abstract UI class that we can just reuse rather than having to have a bunch of duplicate code. And we are now working on actually getting the dependencies so that we can go ahead and list them in here. Here. So here where we have dependencies, we have a Gradle dependency model. What do we have from this again? Yeah. What we don't have, actually, and it's not super important, but we don't have the whether or not it's transitive. I don't know if we can get that. I assume we can. I assume we can get the type. I don't know what that means, though. And you can also get the classifier. And that's from resolved artifact. Now, we don't have any sources, unfortunately, which is kind of annoying. It means that we don't know what this actually means, right? Oh, interesting. Are we using that? We are using that, right? Get ID, so that gets us the module version ident. That's a little bit... I'm gonna do this so that we actually know what that is, because otherwise that's a little bit confusing. So that gets us all of that. I suppose that doesn't get us the... It gets the module, which has a group. Okay, but that just gets it from the ID. Okay, but what is the attach downloaded sources? I don't know what that's meant to do, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Yeah, I just want to know, is there a way to get anything from the artifact that we would want? So like the classifier, I don't know what that is. And like the type, I don't know what that is. On implementation, artifact name dot get type. On implementation, this dot type. Okay. So that just goes into there. We can't find usages of this, can we? I don't think we have the... I mean, I can do this, but I assume that won't work. Yeah, that won't work. I'm gonna try ask ChatGPT again. To railroad let's do codex. Is it possible to get whether or not the resolved artifact is transient or not? Let's see. Are you running ChatGPT on your own machine? No. I am just calling it on my machine. But I'm not running it on my machine. I don't have a beefy enough computer for that. You have to derive it from the resolution result. One simple way is to collect the module IDs of the first level dependencies and compare each artifact's module ID against that set. If it's missing, the artifact was pulled in transitively. Is it possible to get it as a tree of dependencies? I.e., get the dependencies of every dependency. Okay. Can you implement this? That was actually really fast as well. It's crazy, like when it doesn't have to use reasoning, it's so fast. Like you kind of forget how fast it used to be when reasoning wasn't a thing. Because it's like instant. It's actually, it's so crazy. Like I'm so used to using reasoning that when it doesn't use reasoning, I'm like, holy shit. Okay. Come on. And I think it could probably do this without reasoning, like realistically, but I mean, it's obviously going to be better using reasoning, right? What's it done now? Have a look. So, yeah, that can just be to list. A minor thing. Means that doesn't need to be like that. Collect dependency tree. Okay. Where's that? Okay, where is this used? One usage. So that goes into here. I see, so I can now get a configuration tree, which gives me what? A list of dependency node, which is what? A dependency in a list of dependencies. Okay, I see. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, and it's even handling... Okay, that's pretty good. Obviously that can now be just that. Go through and make sure everything is correct in that sense, which it does look to be. Okay. Okay, that'll work then. Yeah, okay. So now we have all of this information exposed. So if we go ahead into the build.gradle and we update this to 1.0.1, give that a refresh just so it stops complaining at me. Come on, thank you. And then publish. And then we'll go back to here. We'll go into here. This will now be 1.0.1. And in the build.gradle, that will be 1.0.1. Reload that. That is obviously assuming this finished, which it did. So that's fine. So what that allows us to now get is we can now have a configuration tree, which will be the dependency tree, or I guess it's the configuration tree. So configuration tree. Did you end up updating to JDK 25? No, I did not get around to doing that. But that is something I will do. Probably after I've merged this PR, I'll probably update to Java 25. Well, I don't know. It's going to be a lot of work to do it. Because there'll have to be quite a lot of code changes. So, I don't know. We'll see. It will be done at some point. It's just like a matter of when. Wait, does it return a list of configuration tree? Yeah, it does, right? Because, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't have sources, I don't think. That's fine. That just means that now dependencies here will need to be a list of configuration tree, and this will just now need to be dependency trees. And then, yeah, that's it. So that's the only kind of problem that caused, which just means that now in here, I think honestly, there's no point having not that, this. There's no point having this. It just doesn't need to exist. So I think let's just get rid of that. And then instead, where we have this, let's just have a list of configuration tree. This is actually configuration trees. It's a little bit confusing to call it configuration tree because it is actually trees. And then that will then be a list of configuration tree, which will be the configuration trees. The configuration trees for dependency. Yes, that's correct. And then yeah, this is not dependency infos anymore. This is also configuration trees, which means that this then needs to be like that. And I'm guessing, no, that doesn't have that. Okay. And eventually I'll probably do that for everything else in here as well. So, for example, getting the all of the tasks in Model Mapper, for example. So where I currently go ahead and just get that from the project in here, I'll probably have that in the thing instead. But that's fine. Okay. So that should now give us access to all of that here. So if I now do a dependency, is it dependency info? No, it's a dependency node, right? Then we can have a dependency node, model service.get all dependencies. Yep, so that will just need to change to that. Build project.toList. That will kind of be correct. Oh, I guess that's interesting, actually. Okay, well, we can have then configuration tree. And then we can have this be get all configurations instead. Fix that import. And I'll just need to Java doc this method as well. Get all configurations. Okay, and then this will just be this will then need to be a configuration tree. Okay, this will need to be a configuration tree. This will need to be a configuration tree. Boom. Okay. How was your day? My day has been alright, actually. Don't ask me what I've done today, because I have no idea what I've done today. Like genuinely, I cannot think of what I've done today. But yeah, my day's been alright. Okay. How was your day, Wide? Have you had a good day? What is this? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Extends the tree thingy, tree builder. Of a configuration tree. No, configuration thing. Lazy day, but been pretty productive. Lazy and haven't gone outside, but productive as I've done lots of. That's not bad. That's not a bad thing. Lazy is fine if you're productive, I feel like. I also haven't been outside today. I haven't been out at all. To be honest, I haven't been out. I don't think I even went out yesterday. Did I even go out the day before yesterday, actually? I don't even know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I actually don't remember the last time I've been outside, which is kind of bad, but it's also friggin' freezing cold and raining all the time. So, like, you know, what am I meant to do, man? Like, if I go outside, I'm just gonna get friggin' soaked. I have an idea for a plugin support and a feature that allows you to make stuff via Scratch, like coding block, kind of like MC. That will not happen. I'm just going to tell you now that's not happening. I mean, if someone wants to do that as a plugin, then sure, they can do that, but I am not. I'm not going to support that, because the entire point of this is to not be like MC Creator. So, you know, what people do via plugins is up to them, but, you know, that's, you know, up to them. But I objectively think that's a terrible idea. Because MC Creator is bad. I mean, what would even be the point? Because MC Creator already exists, right? So you're just like recreating MC Creator at that point. So I don't necessarily think that's a good idea. I don't know how to do that. MC Creator has its flaws. MC Creator has a lot of flaws. Yes, it does indeed. It definitely has a lot of flaws. But it's also open source. So yeah. Also, I think MC Creator uses I think MC Creator is basically just Eclipse, but like in a wrapper. I think that's what MC Creator is, which is basically what Railroad is at the moment. Railroad is also kind of Eclipse in a wrapper, because we're using Eclipse JDT for the text editor. But obviously, eventually, it won't be. But right now, it is. We're also using I think we're using Eclipse's Git thing as well. But their Git thing's pretty good. I think even IntelliJ might use that. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I wanted to create the nodes that will go on the on this. So I'm gonna go into here. Are they in here? No, I'm getting lost. Getting very lost, chat. They're in here. Okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna move these all to their own classes. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So refactor. Can I pull members up to? Is that what I want to do? Oh, wait, no. I don't want to pull them up. I want to pull them out. So this, I guess. Refactor. Did it not do that for all of them? Okay, whatever. I guess I have to do that for all of them then. No. Wait, what did that just do? Oh, I see. Okay. That's kind of weird, but yeah, I see. Refactor. Add. I need to make sure I'm clicking the right thing, because otherwise it doesn't do what I want it to do. Can I tell it to friggin' always do this? Like this, I want it to always do that. And then refactor. Move inner class. A level. Refactor. By what I meant was you have mostly coding, but then some features from MC Creator. I mean... I mean, I feel like you can't. Like, you can't just have some features from MC Creator. Like what features would you even take? I think all of MC Creator's features are bad. I don't think any of them are good. Yeah, these, all of those go in there. There you go. Okay, and then I can make a new element, which will be the... well, there's a couple we have to make. So we have to make the... no, I don't want to copy the class. Never mind. I want to copy... Well, I do. I want to copy, like... we'll go task group element. And then we'll go... Gradle configuration element. And then we'll do the same again. And we'll do a Gradle dependency element. Okay, the dependency element will have a private final dependency node, which will be the node. And so this will then take in the dependency node, which will be the dependency node. And then the name will just be dependency node dot name. Which I assume is just... Don't know what that is. We'll see. Yeah, this isn't going to be a folder though. So what is it in IntelliJ? Like, I don't really know what that's meant to be, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know what that icon is meant to be. Are they meant to be books? Maybe? Like, should I just do book? Book dead? What the hell is book dead? I'm so curious what book dead is. Okay, why do I not have any of my sources anymore? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. IntelliJ is crashing. IntelliJ is crashing, chat. Uh-oh. Like, it's actually, like, full on. It, like... I think it is actually just about to crash. It's not even maxing out iCPU or anything. It's just, like, dying. Oh. IDE error card. Nice. Good shit. Can I download sources, please? I want my sources back. I want my catch-up back. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's crashing again. But why is it crashing when you download sources, bro? Railroad's already better than this LJ, guys. Railroad does not crash when you download the sources. Okay, consider this a win. It also doesn't fail to download them. What is happening? It's like... I don't even know. Alright, anyways, I want to see what book dead is. FAS book dead. So I can look that up on the Font Awesome 6 cheat sheet. I can find book dead. Oh, it's literally a book with a skull on it. Interesting. Why is that a thing? I don't know. We're just going to use book. That's fine. Just normal book. Okay. And then this needs to become Gradle dependency element. Okay. And then this just needs to be set there. Boom. Yeah, we're not going to have like any right-click functionality or anything to that. So that'll be fine. But it will have the children. So we are going to need to have... I don't know how that's going to work, to be honest. I suppose it has a list of dependency node inside of it, so I guess we don't actually need to worry about that at all. Then we have the configuration element, so this is going to take in a configuration tree. Well, no, I guess this is just going to take in a string, right? It's just going to take in a string name. And the name is just going to be... What? I don't think that's a thing. I think it's just going to be name. I don't think there's anything else to this. Okay, and this will be... Yeah, this will be a folder. And then this is going to be the configuration element. Okay. So. I am going to cheat because we're running out of time. So, are we on the right project right now? In Copilot? I don't think we are we? No, we're not. Because I think we can get this done today if we use Codex to do it. So I mean, it's effectively gonna just have to copy this, right? So it should be able to do that. Okay, so all I'm gonna ask it is, can you implement great, you can link to it, that helps it to find it straight away. Yeah, and it should look at the correct things, right? So it should be able to look at these elements and it should be able to see, okay, this one is for configurations, this one's a dependency, this one's a project, and it should be able to do that, right? So let's see what happens. It's looking through, so it's going to look at the elements and then it's going to list the files. Yeah, configuration, dependency. Is it going to look at projects though? It hasn't, but I assume it is going to pick that up. Okay, it's reading a little bit deeper than it needs to be reading, but that's fine. Alright, goodbye, wide. Okay. Okay, I think it's looking a little bit too deep now. Oh, I guess it wants to know the structure of a dependency node, right? So it wants to know what does a dependency node have, because it doesn't have that without going into the dependency node class. I probably should have just sent it this, because now otherwise it's going to have to delve into the jar file and extract the jar. It's going to have to go and look through the sources. It's going to have to use Java P to get the structure of the file and stuff. It'd be a lot easier if I just gave it that, but it's already in there. It's digging deep, so we'll just let it do it at this point. Yeah, here you go. Now it's doing the caches. Oh, it's looking in railroad core for it. It really doesn't want to inspect the jar files. I can actually interrupt it. And I can, if I come into here, I can just you might need to reference these. Okay. It should now know what to do, hopefully. Let's see. Let's minimize this. Let's get rid of these. Just do some cleaning up whilst it's faffing about. Yep, so that compiles now. So I think the only errors now are in here. Oh, did it do it? I'm thinking not. What's it saying? Okay. It's funny because it always, like as soon as I open the file, IntelliJ obviously adds the imports for me, and then Codex comes along and it's like, oh, I need to add these missing imports. So it always happens that I have to load the friggin' file from disk just for it to do the imports. Is this... I don't think this is correct, is it? I need to tell it, you need to use, the project elements as well. Apart from that, I think it's actually probably correct. It does look to be recursive. If you go in here, you see it calls add dependencies of the dependency of the dependencies. Right, so, I mean, that should work in theory. Oh, I guess the only problem is the configuration doesn't actually provide that. So that actually might not be possible. Okay. It doesn't actually have that information. So it's not going to be able to do that. Bugger. So that doesn't go over the line, does it? Oh, it barely goes over the line. I'm just going to ignore that. That's fine. Does this... Oh, that does go quite far over the line. Okay, that can go there, though. But this one goes over the line. It didn't friggin' move that one. Okay, whatever. Is this fine? Yes, that's fine. Okay, I think let's see what this does. And then we'll kind of go from there. Oh, my run configurations are gone. Because, of course. Because I deleted it. And that's probably why I don't have the sources anymore. Because I deleted the project. So I'm going to have to run it from here again. That's why. I was so confused. Like, why was everything breaking? It's because I friggin' deleted the project. I completely forgot I even did that. Okay, so if we go ahead and load 1.21 tutorial mod real quick. Okay. We'll give that a second. And it's empty. Has it errored? No. It has not. Also, why are those still in there? Control-Shift-F tool window. No, not Control-Shift-F. I mean Control-Shift-R tool window. Which I think I just called tools, right? I think so. So if I just replace all of those. No, don't do that. I would actually just fix that heading real quick. Which is where? There you go. Yeah, why is this not showing up? That's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting, I would say. If we look at the root, we say root.getChildren add configuration node. So maybe there's no, maybe it thinks there's no configurations, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking has happened. So what we will do is let's print them here. So we're going to say configurations is equal that, and then we're just going to go configurations.for, and we're going to just print or sout. I don't know why I tried to actually type print. That's obviously not a thing. And then we need to do configuration.dependencies.for. Okay, obviously that's not going to go recursive, so that's not going to go into the configurations dependencies. But that's fine for now. I just want to know if it actually has any, you know. And I just want to see, where is this used? So it's used here, localized tab. I just want to make sure that is like dependencies tab, like it is actually, yeah, it is actually being added and stuff. So it's not like just not there, like it's clearly there. So let's try this. Okay. Yeah, still nothing there, but that's as expected. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything, which is interesting. Would it be possible to even make this in C++? It would be possible, yeah. Sure. I don't see why not. It would be a pain in the ass, but it would be it would be possible. I mean, anything is possible, right? I can't even imagine trying to make this in C++. I would actually just kill myself. That would be friggin' horrible. I wouldn't, like, interfacing with Gradle, even in friggin' Java, is a pain in the butt. So I wouldn't even want to try doing that in C++. It would be, yeah, it would actually just be hell, like, genuinely. I wouldn't want to do it. Yeah. Okay, I'm intrigued why this isn't working. So let's do a little bit of breaky pointy. We just have to find that though, which is here. Yeah, so I mean, something could be going wrong here. Like, it could not be doing something that it should be doing. Maybe? I don't really know. So let's just debug it and see what happens, right? How would we trying to code this in Brainfuck? I think that would be impossible. Like, that would actually be impossible. Like, genuinely, it would just not be possible to do that. Okay, so step over. Okay, so we write the scripts. Okay. I forgot IntelliJ is slow as fuck, so this is going to take a really long time for it to get past this. There we go. Okay. So then it gets the model with the arguments. Give it a second. Wait, why are we here? Oh, did it? Oh, it threw an error. It threw an error. Oh, wait, we're not handling the error, we're just swallowing it. That's not very useful, is it? That's very suboptimal. Failed to load projects configurations for dependencies, and then finally we just want to delete, if exists, the script path. That's fine. Yeah, so we need to know what that error is. So let's go ahead and just run it normally, and we'll find that out. Okay, so here we go. Cannot fetch model of type as this type is not an interface. Ah, yes. Yes. That's why I wanted to make it an interface. I remember this now. It does have to be an interface. That's why I made it an interface in the other ones, because it does have to be an interface. Okay. Yeah. So what we can do then is we can have an import package, and I'm just going to move all of these into the import package. So I'm going to go refactor, move in a class, upper level. We're going to go to dot import. This will be dependency info import, and then we're going to do the exact same thing with this. So we're going to refactor, move in a class, upper level, dot import, refactor, and go refactor, move, refactor, move in a class, upper level to import. And then I just need to create those interfaces. So I need to create a new, oh, I forgot to rename these two. Rename to import. And rename to import. And then let's create a new class, which will be for each of these. So configuration tree. Configuration tree. Okay, and that will just have, it will just be this, right? So we're going to have string configuration, list of dependency node, dependencies. So then we create a new class, which is an interface, dependency node, and this will just have all of those. And then finally, we want dependency info as well. So we're going to go in here, I'm going to create a new class, interface, dependency info. Boom. And then, yeah, all of those will work. So we just need to fix all of these so that they return the interfaces. So that will be like that. That will be like that. That will then take in that. So we'll get rid of that. Boom. 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 Okay, why are you not happy? Okay. Well, it has to be like that then. Oh, that's a dependency node. Required type configuration tree. Provided configuration tree import. Oh, of course, because these need to actually implement their classes. So this needs to implement configuration tree and serializable. That will be dependency node like that. And then all of these need to do that as well. So this one will implement dependency info like that. It's complaining because it doesn't have git configuration. Oh yeah, these aren't right. These should just be configuration, and this should be group, this should be name, this should be version, this should be file path. Okay, and then that works. That's fine. And then I just need to do dependency node as well, which has a list of dependency node, and then this implements dependency node like that. Okay. So that can just, it still can't be that. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I just have to now fix. What do I have to fix? I have to fix something. Somewhere I've missed getting rid of the import. don't know. Is it you? No. Okay, why are you complaining? Because that needs a list of dependency node, and this is a list of dependency node import. Right, so that has to be dependency node. So then I just have to downcast this, right? Which is fine. We can safely downcast things. This is going to be the exact same issue. So we'll have to do the exact same thing here. We can actually do, we can make this a little bit cleaner, which is just dependency node dot class cast, which just makes that a little bit cleaner, even if nothing else. Dot class cast. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. These are all fine. I think that's everything, right? You should change the thing you changed back up top. Or did I change it at the top? I don't think I changed anything at the top. Did I? I don't remember changing anything at the top. No, I think this is fine. Trees, that's configuration tree. Yeah, that's fine. I removed import. Well, that's fine then. Yeah. That'll be fine. We can check. We can just build and see what it says. Oh, we might have to not there. Oh no, that's fine, because that just references dependency model. So that's fine. I think that built, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Okay, so that's fine then. I can then wait, I have to bump it first. So we'll go to version 1.0.2 and publish. Boom. Okay. So then all we need to do is we need to come into here and go build.gradle, and we need to go to 1.0.2, reload. Why does this think it's still running? It's not still running, right? No, it's not. It's just bugging out. Lovely. Okay, that's fine. It actually thinks it's still running. Okay. And then we just need to go into here and change this to 1.0.2 as well. And then, yeah, so these just all now need to change to configuration tree. And we need to fix those imports for all of those, of course. So that's fine. And then in here, all of these need to change to configuration tree. This needs to be configuration tree. And that's all of the ones in here, isn't it? Yeah, so let's just fix those errors, or fix those imports, I mean. Fix this one as well. So that's now configuration tree. That one's all fine. These are all fine. This one just needs to be configuration tree. Okay, and then finally in here, I just need to change all of these to configuration tree. Okay. That needs to be dependency node as well. Are you going to change? Oh, because there's multiple different types of dependency node apparently. This just needs to now also do the exact same thing. So this needs to be configuration tree. Boom. And also dependencies needs to be dependency node. And same thing again here. And then this, once again, needs to do the exact same thing. So that needs to be dependency node. I'll create a getter for that just in case I need it. Which means that this can be a... I was going to say it can be a record, but actually it can't be a record. That's fine. Is that all of the errors gone then? I think it should be. This still thinks it's running. Oh, uh-oh. Well, maybe it is still running. Interesting. We can try and rerun it and see what happens. No, it is actually just still running. Okay. In that case, we can do Gradle stop. What do you mean? Oh, because we need to be in here. Four Damien stopped. 4. Wow. Okay, that's a lot. I don't know where all of those came from. IntelliJ must not be shutting things down properly. Okay, so I think we're not going to have access to the project. So there's not going to be the projects in there. I think it's just going to be the configurations. Or maybe not. We're not fetch type of dependency model as this type is not an interface. Yeah, it friggin' is. It definitely is. Oh. What? No, it is though. What? Oh. Not find dependencies plugin 1.0.2. Wait, no, that's downloading the sources. Maybe... But that's outdated. That's not correct. I think it's fine. I'm going to try run it again. Maybe it just bugged out. I don't know what's happening. Okay. It's loading again. Not fetch a model of type dependencies model. Oh. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Right. It's not an interface. I made the things right. Okay. Yeah, it's correct. It is correct. I made all of these interfaces, but the thing that needed to be an interface was this. So, yeah, this can be, in that case, dependencies model impl, like that. Now I just need to make an interface that has these. So there will be a new class, which will be dependencies model, which will be the interface, and then this will give us the two things, right? So this will have the dependencies, and then it will have the dependency trees, like that. And then if I just move this into there, then that should work. Let me just build it and make sure that like compiles and stuff. But that should work now. Okay. So then if I now go back to build.gradle and update this to 1.0.3, because friggin' Maven moment, and then publish, now it should work. So if we go back again to here, once again, build.gradle 1.0.3, reload, and go into scripts, into here, 1.0.3. Boom. Did that load properly? Yes, it did. So if we now go ahead and run again, third time's the charm. Is it the third time? Might be the fourth, actually. Fourth time's the charm. Okay. My god, I forgot to change the... Oh my god, I forgot to change... I forgot to change this. To be dependencies model. And this as well. I actually don't believe it. Okay. You know what that means? 1.0.4. Reload. I actually don't need to reload before I publish it, but I might as well do it anyways, so it doesn't do any weird shit. That's taking a minute. There you go. Let's try again. Let's try version 1.0.4. Dependencies plugin. Applied plugin descriptor was found. The implementation class railroad dependencies plugin was not found in the jar. Interesting. I don't know if that's an issue or not, per se. But I think that's because of this. I think it's probably fine, but that is probably something I should fix. But yeah. Back to 1.0.4. We're bumping versions all day long here. Did you see about Hightail? Yes, I have seen about Hightail. And no, before you ask, I do not have any strong opinions towards it. I'm honestly, like, not interested in Hightail at all. I just don't enjoy RPG games, to be honest. So yeah, that's why I don't really have any interest in it. So I don't have any strong opinions towards it. Hey, kind of a interesting. Well, this is interesting because it's technically worked. Like, it has kind of. I don't think it's done. I don't think any of them have transient dependencies, even though they definitely do have transient dependencies, right? And this is actually kind of cool, the fact that you can see all of the dependencies in all of the different ones, whereas IntelliJ only shows you... Wait, maybe it doesn't. Wait, now I'm curious. Maybe it doesn't, actually. Maybe IntelliJ shows you more than that. Let's have a look. If we go here, and we go... Get rid of these. Dependencies. No, see, IntelliJ only shows you these ones. IntelliJ actually doesn't show you all of the Yeah, all of these. Okay, I want to see. So if we go to client runtime class path and look for terminal console appender, let's see if that has a nested thing or not. So what was it? Client runtime class path, and then oh, okay, maybe it does work. Oh, it does work. I was gonna say I didn't know why it wouldn't work. I mean, that looks, yeah, like I don't know why it wouldn't have worked. Damn, that's pretty cool. And then you can go all the way down. You can see, oh, that requires that. That requires that. That's pretty cool. I really don't know why IntelliJ doesn't show all of them, though. Does IntelliJ maybe just combine them into a single, like let's go back to the tutorial mod. Like, maybe it just combines them, because if we look in here, this is compile class path, so we have all of these fabric ones. If I go into Railroad, do we have all of those in compile class path? Do we even have compile class path? Yeah, here. Yeah, so I guess the only thing is, it doesn't show the full name of the dependency, right? So it doesn't show the group ID, and it doesn't show the version. So I think let's fix that, and then I think we'll probably end the stream there, to be honest, once we fix that. Should be trivial to fix as well. So if I go into what am I going into? I'm trying to think. Dependency element. Here we go. So all we have to do is we have to change this to dependency node dot group plus colon plus, and then plus version. And if we run that, that should then display the entire actual string. So let's load up the tutorial mod again. Okay, so if I now go into compile class path, yeah, so now it shows as you would expect it to show them. But that is all of them, right? That is all of the ones IntelliJ shows, I think. I don't think it shows any more than that. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to do a little bit of comparing and just see if any of them aren't in here or not. So, auth-lib, blocklist, brigader, data fixer upper, logging, patchy, text-to-speak, codec commons, commons IO, mixing extras, netty buffer, netty codec, netty common, netty handler, netty resolver. I think they are all in here, interestingly enough. Then maybe let me go down past. Yeah, I think they are, which is interesting, isn't it? I think they're duplicated, right? So I mean, if I look in like CFR decompiler class path, and then I look in compile class path, and I look and see, is that in there? No. So IntelliJ actually, like, genuinely just hides a lot of the dependencies, which is interesting. Let's do this for Railroad. Let's see what Railroad looks like in there. Because I think Railroad only has these 4 configurations. I don't think we have any others. So let's have a look. Give it a second to pick up the Gradle project. Okay. Oh, we actually have quite a few. Why do we have duplicate ones, actually? That's interesting. 1.5.20. These are the same, aren't they? Why has it added them twice? That's a little bit suspicious if you ask me. Okay, well, first of all, it probably shouldn't show the ones that have nothing in them, right? I think that would... It probably shouldn't do that. Okay, so let's write some to-dos, because I think we're going to end the stream here. So, to-do. Do not allow... Could be because you're running it twice. No, I don't think so. I don't think that should change anything. Because I have I have the story mod open as well. I have that open in IntelliJ as well. But I don't think that could be it. Do not display duplicate dependencies in the tree. And then I'm also going to put to do to say what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, don't show empty configurations. Don't show empty configurations. And then also I'm going to have a to-do to include the projects in the dependency tree, or in the tree. No point saying it's the dependency tree. Okay. But for now, that's pretty good, right? That's everything I was kind of aiming for. Obviously, we don't have the projects in there and stuff. But you're still streaming. Yeah, I am still streaming wide, but we're actually about to end it now. We're just going to do a little bit of committing. I'm just going to make sure everything is... Okay, there is actually a couple dependency tree builder, this little guy. Okay. We're just going to go through these, just make sure they're all CRLF. Yes, they are. Okay. Hopefully Copilot can write something, but it also might not be able to. We'll try. Refactor Gradle UI to support. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a pretty good descriptive commit. Push. And yeah, we'll come back to this. Well, this will be done by Saturday. So on Saturday, we're probably going to work on the console tab, I believe. So we can actually see a console once we run something, because it's important. And that will kind of be the last major feature that we don't have in Railroad. Like, by that I mean like Railroad core features, right? That would be the last one. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I will be streaming tomorrow on Twitch. Probably normal time, probably roughly normal time, on Twitch. So yeah, my Twitch is I actually don't have it linked anywhere. It's just Real Turty on Twitch. So yeah, I will see you, well, probably not all of you, but I will see you tomorrow on Twitch, and if not, I will see you on Saturday, back on YouTube, of course. So I will see you all then. Goodbye.